Now, what we're going to do, we're going to start this off. If anybody have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. It's too easy. I can answer any question that you have. But, when you ask me that question, you stand up so I can hear you. I'll try my best not to answer a question with a question. So, when you, yes?
How many times were you deployed?
Stand back up and see what you just said. What did you just say? How many times have I been deployed? Hey, it's too easy, bro. Just stand up. Did he ask how many times I was deployed?
Yeah.
Yes.
6. Yes. Are you
What's your
finished?
favorite place that you were stationed in?
East Liverpool, Ohio. Next.
Yeah.
Anybody got a question? That's it? Teach? Yes.
I just wanted to thank you for doing the 21 gun salute for my grandfather.
It's an honor. Always an honor. Yes.
How long did you serve for?
23 years. Next.
Do you know Larry Collins?
No, unfortunately, stand back up. Why? Where's he work at?
He worked as Navy.
A what?
Navy.
Oh, I'm Army. Yeah. You have to be at the Pentagon. How many people work at the Pentagon? Like 65 to 100,000 people work in that place. So it's hard to get to know people. But I'll tell you one thing. Hold on for a second. I'm going to tell you a story. Give me a second. I'm going to tell you a story. What the cool thing is about being in the military is Kirby. I'm talking about you now. You ready? So one of the coolest things about the military is, it's just like when I went to college, is that fact that you're looking around for people who from your area. Does that make sense? So here I was in an Air Force base. I was coming in, I was flying in. I saw this big guy who I idolized when I was a kid. No, not a kid, but he's about 5, 6 years older than I am. I was like, who's that? That's that. And guess who it was? Mr. Kirby's grandpa.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, so the good thing about that is he and I played basketball. He was the star of the pit. And I started coming through. He took me under his wing, and I played that's how I got to be halfway decent in basketball. I got to play with the older gentleman. So that was pretty cool. And that goes to what I told you guys earlier, that you never know who's looking, you never know who's that. Because them kids on the sideline look at you guys. They see number 8 running for a touchdown. They see number 8 doing things. They see number 12 doing this. They see that, this. But my point is, also they see when you don't get a pass. When things don't go your way. When things like that, then they see your reaction. See what I'm saying? You got to conduct yourself in a certain manner for these young folks. So, Mr. Kirby's grandfather was one of my inspirations. And it was so cool to have that. And that's why I say the best place is East Liverpool, Ohio that I've ever been to, because once you serve like I have all around the world, 2 things that you want to do. I know I can be tough, and I'm very protective over my family, and sometimes I can be standoffish, but I tell you what, I told my granddaughter the other day, someone mess with you, let me know. That's what soldiers do, because I'm so used to protecting America. But it goes back to what I'm saying, it's up to pride, things like that. So your grandfather inspired me. It's pretty cool, and I see it within you. Even though he's a little taller, but he's great people. There's a lot of great people in this community who do great things. But what makes a good leader? One heck of a follower. You got to learn before. You got to crawl first. Like being a nurse, you got to go here. You got to go there. The military, to me, is a place you may not stay for everybody, there for everyone. I mean, for a long time, like I did. But my point is, it's a start. You go, there's a lot of good benefits. Like you say, or the pay, military pay. You only make $2,000 a month. That's not a lot of money, is it? That's the beginning. So, in the beginning, you make that, but you take care of your medical, your dental, your place to live, your food. What else? That's a lot, isn't it? Now, take that, and you put it into the civilian sector, and they go, okay, now you have to pay for that. You've got to pay for that little cell phone that you carry around. You've got to do all that. You've got mom and dad now. Mom and dad should be Dunsky. They should be on the Dunsky. Brewski, Darren knows that. Once you turn 18 and get out of high school, imagine if everything you do is you have to do it yourself. It's pretty tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your car. I see you riding around cars and stuff like that. Someone flying down the highway the other day passed me up. I'll get my Corvette out next time. But my point is, your cell phones, your rent, everything has to do. My point to you guys now is the military is just an opportunity. Does that make sense? It's an opportunity because college is free. Yes, you have to pay for certain things, but I started at $2,000, but after 23 years, you think I was making $2,000? I'll put it this way, I retired at 50 years old, and guess what? Never have to work again in my life. Pretty good, huh? Never have to work again, because everything's paid for. Everything I have is paid for. My brother and I used to get in arguments about that. I say, hey bro, you had the same opportunities I had. My brother went left, and I went right. And guess what? Now he caught back up. Again, he doesn't retire until he's 65. I've been retired already for 10 years. You can go in the military at 18, retire at 38, and get another job. And just think, you might come out with a degree. Next question. Yes?
What branch of the military was like your favorite to be in? Like I remember you mentioned like Air Force, you're in the Pentagon, you're in the Army. So
I'm gonna tell you the coolest one. The coolest one is Space Command. Space Command is very cool. That's what you were telling me that you like to do gaming. Everybody likes to do that gaming stuff,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Right. This thing can do gaming, but it's real stuff. You're on a big screen. You're going. But you're getting down. That jet you're flying, and that everything else is going. You're just getting down. And when they drop bombs, they drop them. That's pretty cool. But, I'm gonna get you. Hey, I'm telling you, if I'm boring you, please stand up and go back to the room. So, but one thing you have to have, which is very hard to do, it's something you keep, which thank God I got, was a top secret security clearance. You know how hard those are to get? And the secrets, because you can't go everywhere. You know, it's tough. That gets you into the spot. Say I want to go in the Pentagon. You just can't walk in the Pentagon. You have to have certain level of security and so forth and so forth and so forth, like that. Make sense? So Space Command is cool. But I'm not going to go to Space Command. I know. No. But all branches are cool. Yes. Next. Chainsaw. Walker. Stand up. This young man right here, just like Mr. Kirby, his Pat and I were best friends. We were going to go to the Marine Corps together back in the day. He inspired me as well. Thank you very much. Yes. Question. Stand up. If everyone has a question, please stand up. Yes.
What is the significance of the painting and why is it bent?
All right, it's bent because it came from Iraq to Germany to Ireland to me. If on here, back in the day, I used to be in the MOS. MOS means your job. I was called a fister. But a fister does, he walks with his infantry, and he's out there. I go out with the scouts and rangers. This is my young days, and I had a binos, and I could see the enemy and say, you know, where Sheets is. Right? The cannons are at Sheets. I'm out there looking, I'm looking. Ha! Fire on these guys. And they'll go. So the power of the fist. Does that make sense? And see the guys looking, that was my job. So they gave it to me when that's maybe 30 years old now. So it's been a little bit. Next. Yes.
What was your initial thought when you enlisted?
The thought when I listened, I was luckily I joined the day the Gulf War started. The day it started, I was sitting at home, I was like, I needed something to keep me in shape. I needed some discipline. You know what I mean? Because I was like you guys were, some of you, in the right law. I was like that too. I was like, no one, what? You're crazy. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. I said, I'm going to go left. I needed something bigger and better than myself. I wanted to protect the country and get money in some place I can retire in 20 years. Make sense? My goal was to go in at this time and retire by this time. And yes, and that's what inspired me to go in at that age. And I went in, and believe me, I wanted to quit. The first 3 days, I wanted to quit. And I thought to myself, I got to get every one of my buddies who played for the Potters, all went in the military and got out. I wanted to stay in. I'm the only one that stayed in all the way. 2 of them stayed in all the way. Next. What do you want?
Did you go to college?
Yeah, of course. Kent State, and then I went to Philander Smith College out in Little Rock, Arkansas. Then U of A, University of Arkansas. I finally finished with my degree in the military. Yes. I'll get to you in a second. I can't hear
Stand
you.
up.
Were you in the military when you went to college?
Well, before, but and going to finish like when I got out of the army. Yes. Talk to me.
Why did you join the military?
Because part of pride, brother. Yes. I want to ask you this question one more time. Teacher, can you help? Give me a hand. Those who have questions, please stand up. Just stand up. Just stand up. I'll point to you. Stand up. Stand up. Whoever wants a question, go. I can't hear you.
How many wars have you been in?
How many wars have there been? Well, what they did was they made the whole thing called the Global War on Terrorism. So you have Iraq, Afghanistan, things of that nature. Does it make sense? So I was in Saudi Arabia. I joined when they went to Saudi Arabia and things like that. But I want to tell you the craziest thing. My mindset was, when I go to Saudi Arabia, what am I going to see? I'm going to see camels and people. Because that's what I thought. You feel me? I thought that. I said, that's what I want to see. Guess what? I landed there, and I was looking at these people come with different outfits on. I was looking at them, and I was like, then I got off the thing, and here I am, 6'4", and they're only 5'3". So I looked at them, I looked down at them, they looked at me, and they said something in Arabic, and I just said, huh. I just, being an American, I'm sitting there going, huh. We're tough. So I went by them, because I was backstage, picked up my bag, and I looked at them. But then the daylight came, it was 135 degrees. I was like, holy moly, no wonder that guy's talking like that. But it was so hot. And then I noticed that people all over the world, no matter where you go, are all the same. Just different languages, different cultures, different this, but they're all the same. You got young folks in there going like this. They're in Arabic. You see the young folks in there? Attack. See the other guy? Look at this guy. He got a beer in his hand. See, it's all the same. People are the same wherever you go. There's rich, there's poor, there's this, there's that, there's this, there's that. It happens. Now, there are some places women don't get treated correctly, but I've seen it all. Kids, I've seen it all. I've seen it. That's why I tell you kids all the time how blessed you are. How blessed that I could be sitting here talking and you're sitting there looking at your phone, number 8. It's amazing how this happens. Because in the Army, I would tear you something new. You feel me? But I'm not in the military. And I understand that. But one day you'll understand that when you get my age, how you do that. Because in the military, when I go into I had a military classroom as well. Guess what we do with our cell phones? We take our cell phones, we put them up there. Make sense? You'll learn that one day. Because one day, one of you have to be up there talking to them. Next. Talk to me.
Who was your favorite person to work with in the Army?
Friends are hard to come by. Very hard to come by. I can name my friends on my hand. One guy was from Africa, one of my best friends. One guy, he lives in North Carolina. One guy lives in California. And I'm talking about guys you can rely on for the rest of your life. So people who I work for, because you run into those people that you can't stand, you know what I mean? There's some people that just, but those people, because you go over the world, you meet a lot of people. Go.
Where's like the coolest place you've been?
Have a seat. Germany. Next. Next question.
Have you ever drove a plane?
What?
Have you ever drove a plane?
No. Heck no. What? Go back to the saying. Germany. What was your question again? Drop a bomb? What I tell you my job was? Army. Well, back there, I should call cannons in and they go blow up stuff, right? So I'll leave that question to answer up to you. Next, yes.
Where all places have you been before?
Gulf War, Africa, Panama, Kuwait, Korea, Cuba, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait. I think that's about it, something like that.
What's your favorite?
My favorite spot is right here. Because I'm telling you, right now, imagine that having a football. I want to tell you this. Hey, give me a second. Imagine having a football team. So here's my football team. I'm out front of all this football team. And my goal in that football team is also to win, right? Is to bring you home. Make sense? To bring you home. It can get rough out there. Because whatever happens, it's tough. So my job was to bring you home. Not only that, I wanted to come home, and I wanted to be chilling too. You know what I mean? I'm from right there on Mulberry Street. I'm from East End. I'm from here. That's where I want to come home. So I do what I do. My job is to bring you home. Remember I was telling you about this? And that's how you feel once I come into the United States of America with all the people I took there. And I would tell those guys, I had to go to one location, the other, this location. You stay here. I'll go. So they stayed back. And I remember flying in a helicopter. And I go, heard this noise. Am I scared? Heck yeah, I'm scared. They're almost dropping Duke. I almost dropped a Duke. But yet, I was ready. And I'm ready. I'm ready. Here comes that part of pride. Here comes that self-pride. Because I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I do what I do. I do what I do when I got to do it. Does that make sense? The good thing about the military is you're trained to do it. Make sense? Carn.
Where are you stationed when 9/11 happened?
9/11, unfortunately, guess where? I was in New York.
You were in New York?
I was in New York. I'm sorry, Douglas, please.
Sorry, Mr. Douglas. Sorry.
I was actually in New York when it happened. And someone knocked on my door. And where I lived at, lower listed couldn't come to my place. Does that make sense? In order to get to where I'm at, you got to go through a lot of people to get to me. Well, guess what? That guy in the lower bottom, he came knocked on my door. Bloom, 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 bloom. I said, who is it? They said, this is private number 8. That's twice. That's twice. Okay? That's twice. I called number 8. Okay? So he knocked on my door, and I said, who is it? He goes, this is number 8. I said, what's number 8 doing? Number 8, you can't come to my door. He said, well, there's an emergency. I said, what emergency? He said, a plane hit the towers. What? So I said, first thing you're going to do is you need to leave out of my hallway. Because you ain't out of here for someone else to you. So I turned on TV, blah, 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 blah. Push him to shove. I couldn't believe it. It's like anybody else. I was like, what does it do to a soldier? You know what it makes me? Mad. So I was oh yeah. So I sit there, and you're looking at this, you're thinking this. Then I had to go down. So I went up to the Canadian border, and I watched the border. Then I ended up going down to the New York City, and you see this, and you're going, remember where I worked at the Pentagon, correct?
Yes.
And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Pentagon, but it's an onion. You know what an onion is? It's a layer on a layer and a layer and a layer. That's what the Pentagon is. It's like that. It's hard to penetrate. So it makes you mad. So I was in New York when that happened, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And my soldiers are ready to go. And I miss that a lot because I love a good team. It's right, number 8. All right? What did I just say?
He loves a good team.
Come here, number 8. Come here, number 8. Take accountability for yourselves, man. Next question.
What is the funniest experience you've had?
One of the funniest experiences I had was when I'm talking and people are talking and laughing and joking and giggling, then I do this to them. Come over here. So I always say it like this. Don't get too close. When are you gonna buy your spouse?
A ring.
What kind?
Diamond ring.
How big is that diamond gonna be?
Probably pretty big.
Show me how big that diamond is.
All right.
All right. Let's get on your knees. So, if you're gonna have a diamond, how big's your diamond?
Like this big.
You can afford a diamond that big.
Never know.
You got it like that.
I got it like that.
So put your diamond right there. Put your diamond right there. Ready? So, let's put your diamond right there. Now, go down on your diamond. Go down. Now, up. Now, move your diamond up to there. Up, diamond, you can't afford the one that big. Now, what you're gonna do, bring your legs in, put your butt up a little bit. Now, see that nose? Now what you're gonna do, butt up. Put that nose in that diamond. Yeah, come on! Keep your butt up. So, I can't afford a diamond like that. Oh, wait, but you just didn't you say you know he has a diamond. Let me see your diamond again.
My diamond.
Let me see your diamond one more time.
My diamond's pretty small now.
Oh, you got to game it.
I got to catch a point, you know.
I know. But he said the funniest time I've had. One of the funniest times I had in the military was, say, he and I are running. And there's a creek, right? A creek. He's running. Oh, slow down. And you go that way. You go that way. I come running up. I'm behind you. I ain't going in there. I'm not going to run in that creek. I'm going to go this way. You go that way and I go.
Like, a spider.
There's a big spider.
Yeah,
A big spider coming down.
It's
right
funny.
now.
So as that happened, okay, I got the spider. Okay, so he went that way. I went this way. I got all my weapons on. Guess what happened? Guess what happened? Well, the way I went was 10 feet deep. So I almost drowned in that goddamn water. And that person who ran in front of me did what you would do. You would turn around and what? Run back. No, you know you laughed. You know you laughed. But that was a funny moment for me.
Oh, you falling in the creek?
No, I went 10 feet down in the water. Hit by my weapon. Couldn't do nothing. I'm from East Liverpool. I can swim. Sorry. That's really good about Liverpool. People can swim. That happened to me. Now, I'll tell you another moment. The second funniest moment is when I walked in the woods. They tell me, I say, hey. I say, hey, Mark Douglas. Don't answer me with what's up.
Oh, good boy.
Now, funniest thing that happened to me in the military. I was out in I'm just a young guy. I'm out in the woods for about 20 days. They give you food to eat, right? So, I'm eating food called MREs. What does MRE stand for? What? Meals ready to eat. So I'm just tearing them up. I'm tearing them up. I'm tearing them up. I'm tearing them up. 15 days later, guess what? No, I got to do something else. I got to do something. You know what I'm talking about, right? What? I got to do something. So I asked my boss, or the chief. I said, "Hey, chief, where do we go to the bathroom out in here?" He goes, "In the woods." I said, "In the woods?" I said, "You can't. How do you go in the woods?" So I said, "I can't go number 2 in the woods." I said, "That's crazy." So he gave me this little shovel. It's called an E-tool that you bolt up, right? So, as good. Appreciate you guys. So he gave me this tool. He said, "You gotta go in the woods, right?" He said, "You gotta go in the woods." And so I went I said, and do what? He said, you know what you got to do. So, here I am, going into the woods. I ain't gonna shake you. No, there's a good reason why. I'm going into the woods, right? I'm going into the woods, curve, I'm going into the woods. I'm going into the woods. I said, well, what I got to do in the woods? He gave me this tool, and it flips out into a shovel. So I came back. I was like, what do I do with the shovel? So I come back 10 days later. So that means I had to walk from here. Imagine me walking from here to Lisbon. Right, so in the woods. So I'm walking the woods. Remember, it's 10 days after. Remember, I had to do something. I still ain't done it yet. This is 10. I was walking. Whew. My job was, at that time, was to call on the radio. My supervisor said, hey, we need you to do this. I call on the radio. Yo, 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 yo. Right? So, here I come. Oh. It's boring now. So I got to ask the guy, I said, hey man, he gave me this shovel. I don't know what to do with the shovel. He looked at me like, are you stupid? I go, no. He said, how do I use the shovel to do what I got to do? And he said, exact words, you're a potter. You work it out. I kept on telling him I'm a potter. He goes, you're a potter. You work it out. Don't you guys work with your hands? Pottery. So I said, something's thinking like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense what he's saying. So on the 11th day, now I'm really walking. I'm walking like this. Woo! I gotta go. Then some little guy come over and goes, this is what you're supposed to do with that. And I go, oh, okay. So my boss says, now we have a mission, a real mission. Something's gonna happen. I'm like, oh my God. And when you're with these guys, I'm out with the scouts, Kurt, Darion. I was in shape, boy, I could run. I could go. I was gone. Gloria, I was gone. I could run 2 miles in 10 minutes. I was moving out. Now I can't do a damn thing. But my point is, so my boss is around. We need someone to call the radio. Where's Douglas at? I'm in the woods. I'm tearing it up. And now I knew what the E-tool was. The E-tool was to cover it up, right? So to go to tell you, so finally I got done. And I come flying back up here. Like you did on the touchdown at one time, you running, and you had to hold, I was running, right here. I got 200 pounds on my back. I'm running, yeah, right here. I went, who just shook my hand? Everybody shook my hand? I did. Everybody shook your hand. I went like this, and it was covered in you know what. So much as I love you guys, that's a funny story to me, because I was like, oh, he goes, are you crazy? I said, hey, what can I do? I said, but it was just so, that's a funny story. But the thing about it is there are fun times, there are bad times, but I did whatever I did to make it to this level. It's an option for you guys. It's an option. There's Army. My daughter's been in the Air Force. She graduated high school and was gone. Yeah, I met her. She's been gone in the military for 10 years now. 11 years. She's in the Air Force. Not bad. My nephew, his name is Mark Douglas as well. We're talking my daughter was Air Force. I was in Kuwait, and I was in charge of this area in Kuwait. And I had to leave him. I got a phone call about 6 months later. Hey, Dad. I said, yeah, who's this? This is your daughter. I said, where you at? She said, I'm in Kuwait. I said, first of all, are you in uniform? She said, yeah. I said, well, you call me first sergeant. Because that's just military thing. And I go, she starts laughing. And guess who's standing next to her? In Kuwait, Mark Douglas. My daughter, my nephew met at the same place. And I told them exactly where to go, and they stood in front of my old office. And guess what? He got re-enlisted right there. That's a cool moment, I think. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But she went to Air Force, which isn't bad for a start. Then you have the Navy, which is cool. Army, Navy, Air Force. The best, to me, the coolest is the Marine Corps. So, I do. I don't understand what they're saying sometimes. You ever watch YouTube? You ever watch YouTube and you hear them call them cadence? Cadence means wherever you go, you walk in a group. Left, right, left, right. When you talk to someone, you're like this. Like if you come in and speak to me, you're like this. Yes. And I'm not, hey man, and come here, man. Come here. It's not, hey man, or hey dude. I had one of my soldiers do something that I know some of y'all would do. Guy came to formation one time. I'm in charge now of this whole. I'm in charge of 250 people. I had one guy walk up to me with his shorts down here like this. You know how y'all doing that?
Oh, yeah, like,
Oh, the monster.
His shorts were down here like this, and he had earrings in.
Oh.
So he knew that I was going to tear him a new one, didn't you? But I didn't. You know what I did? Because different leadership, certain leadership deserves like law. Say that. Like I could talk to you like law, this. If I can make you believe you messed up. I got your back. Just don't do it again. I love you, man. You feel me? Have a seat. So next time, you know if you do it, you hurt me too. Then you got over this side, because I was fishing the other day, and someone said, hey man, right? Remember that? Oh, yo, you do it. Like, hey man. And I turned around on it. I can prove you wrong.
I never said that right.
Nah, you said
So I'm walking, and he goes, hey man. Hey man. So I go, no. So I turn around, just automatically I just turn around and give him that. Who are you talking to? I don't have to be a soldier to do that. That's custom and courtesy. Good kid. Good. Yeah. But it's my fault because I call you guys kids. Young man. Does that make sense? Make you feel better? Now he tried to tell me this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove to him. I told him in high school, I was playing basketball. In the gym, and I jumped. You can ask Mr. Kiger this. I jumped to dunk a basketball and I hit my head on it. And I fell back. I had stitches in my head. All right? Did it a couple times. There's only 2 people can dunk at 11 and a half, 12-foot goal in Midland. You know about that. My point is, so, think about it. It's just that if I can do, I'm just trying to point to you guys that I can do it. Those old men that you saw sitting over there, I know I'm old to you guys, but over there, them old guys who went to Vietnam, they can do it. I can do it. You can do it. You can learn. I can touch my head on the rim. I bet you $20. So, I said, well, you know me, show me. So I took him to a place, and he jumped. He didn't give me my $20. Kurt, Darren, Mark, Trey, Locke, me sure. I'll let you slide. Want me to let you slide? Well, custom and courtesy goes a long way. Is it right, sir?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, no, sir, or yes, no. You know what I mean? Instead of, you feel me? Or, hey, man. But you're going to do wonder. You know why? Because you believe in yourself. That's where it all starts. Believing in yourself. You understand that? Next question. I know I got to hurry up.
Yeah, we got time for about 2 or 3 more. Okay?
Gotcha.
what was the most dangerous battle you faced?
Sit down. The biggest battle I ever had was I got off a helicopter and I heard, this is Iraq, and I heard fire, gunfire going on. And I was like, you can laugh now, but when you hear them bullets fly through you, I'm going, holy moly. So I lay it on the ground. I put them in, I'm ready to go. Ready to go. So something happened, blase, blase, blase. Whatever happens, happens. We were talking to you, and
Yes.
the people say, I asked Mr. Carter, can I use this word? I use ass. Okay? I already asked him. I asked him. I said, Sergeant Douglas, you're just an ass. I go, hey, let me tell you something. I'm a totally different person. When I come walk, if I gotta walk through this crowd to get to save that guy there, and I don't care who's in front of me. Who's in front of me? I don't give a squat. You feel me? Do you feel me?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel me?
Yes, sir.
That means I'm knocking you the heck out. Linebacker, defense. You feel me? I'm knocking them out. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm tearing them up. I want to come home. I want to go to Burger King. I want to go to the new sheets. You feel me? I want to do that. I want to do that. Now, tomorrow's not promised to anyone, and people pass away. But my goodness, I want to come home. But if I didn't, at least I did something to save, to protect the United States of America. Because I've seen kids who can't even sit in chairs like this, who can't even get books to read, who will never talk when I'm talking, will never do this, will never do that. These poor kids, I threw something to eat inside of a cage to these kids. They're little kids. And I saw the adults come over and take the food from the kids. And the kids were starving. The kids were skinny. So we had to go inside the camp, and I squared that away. I've seen that. How lucky you are to be an American. American. I'm telling you, when you come home, man, this is the best place. This is it. I've been around the world. I've seen human trafficking. I'm military intelligence guy. I've seen all that. And I tell you, yes, I may be tough, but I've seen it. So I had a conversation the other day about New York, and I go, this, if something happens, you got to be aware of your surroundings. That's why I mentioned that cell phone. People can track and know what you're doing all the time, but you don't realize it because you're young. Next question. Come on, we got to hurry up here.
Did you learn any new languages?
Sit down, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Had to speak German, had to speak Spanish, German in Germany, which Germany is a great place because Germany is a place where you can go see a lot of history that you see on TV. Make sense? It's very sad to go to Germany because of the Holocaust and things of that nature. I got to visit those areas, and it's kind of like, wow. This is where this is. Then you go on TV and you go, I do this a lot on TV. I might have done it there on Mr. Carnes. I go, I've been there. I've been there. I get to show the Pentagon or something. I've been there. People go, really? I go, yeah. I was there. Or Texas when I was there. Next.
What's the biggest bomb
The what?
Biggest bomb?
Bomb. Bomb. Stealth bomber. You ever hear the stealth? That big thing flies in the air? Wider than this room. Next. Come on.
What was your favorite weapon to work with?
The M4. Machine gun. Pulls out. Yes. Got one more question after this. Yes. An Abrams? Like a tank? No. What I got to drive, luckily I moved up in rank. I used to ride like a tank type deal. But I moved up to, like I said, you start at the bottom. You start up as a 7th grader, right? Then you end up as a senior, correct? Right?
Yes, sir.
That's how the military works. Then you move up to, like I moved all the way up to be in the Pentagon with a staff. So when I walk into a place, it's kind of like, there he is. That's like when I had that number 8 attitude. I just give you the look. Oh yeah. Now this is not, they call it a look of arrogance. I always call this a look of confidence. I'm confident in myself. But I know when to smile. I know when not to smile. I know they'll be serious. So a lot of people can't know when I'm going, if I'm serious or not. Is that right there? You serious or is there not? We'll keep you on your toes. Last question. Next two. Hurry up.
What's
Red.
one thing you would
Red.
tell someone?
Red.
Oh, how did your leadership change over the years?
How about what?
How's your leadership changed over the years?
I've always been cool as a fan. You know what that means, cool as a fan?
Yeah.
I've always been that guy. I had a leader one time, just all he did was cuss at me. Screw this and F that. And I sit there and I'm telling you. First one in the military, I had a guy like that. He's about this tall. He always would cuss and put his finger in me. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking. I'm looking. You know what happens when you get a tear in your eye, right? You done went too far. So I told that guy, I said, He said, are you mad at me? I looked at him and I said, I don't get mad. I get even. Exact words out of my mouth. Exact words out of my mouth. I should never said that, but I did. So he goes, all right. So they just tore me up. But right then and there, I knew what I did in high school. I was a quarterback in high school. I had to lead the team. I was the captain of the basketball team. I led the team. I had to be here in this auditorium. I used to sing solos and all this stuff. I had to lead the way. Right then and then, I said, I'm going to lead the way. But I'm not going to be that way. Some people I can yell at. Some people I got to talk to. They call me the counselor. Even to the day, if one of you kids come and ask, young men and women, ask me questions, I've been around the world and I know a lot of stuff. How you do that? He knows. My grandchildren know. I got stories after stories after stories. I've been there and done that. I am you. I am you. Only difference is I'm you before you. Does that make sense? I'm before you. I was that guy. You saw the yearbook right there. I was that guy. See? I was that guy. You see the track when I'm smoking those guys, right? You turn to the track. This is me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm Hall of Fame guy and all that stuff like that, but that's not even relevant anymore. I want you to be that. Make sense? I want you to succeed. I'm almost done, sir. High jump. Pass that back to you. High hurdle. The other one, turn it around. I was that guy, but that's not even relevant. But what I did do was listen to the teachers. I did do that. I listened to my mom and dad. I did that. You believe that I'm 60 years old and never had a beer? Never had a beer. I'm sorry. Never had a full beer. But I did taste it one time. You feel me? I did. Now, let's go with like marijuana. I tried it one time and got a headache. And I swear to goodness, my heart started racing. I go, oh my God. And I made a promise I'll never do it again. Never did it again. Never did it again. It's too scary for me. But young folks, I understand. Makes sense. I feel peer pressure stuff and experience it. But, and last question, that's it. I got to go.
What's one thing you would tell someone that's thinking about a mistake will turn?
Come talk to Mark Dove. What did he say?
What's your fears?
What were the fears that you had to overcome to get where you are?
The fears I have overcome. The biggest fear that I had, I want you to listen to the story. And my dad told me this. I was a Mr. Basketball. I had a chance to play for Harlem Globetrotters, getting ready to get drafted to the NBA, all this stuff. I was that good. What's your grandpa? Your grandpa told me to, all this stuff. So here I am, was the man. And my biggest fear was to let my dad down. Right? So I broke my ankle playing basketball on the street. My dad looked up at me and said, hardest thing I ever heard in my life, and God bless his soul, he said, you disappoint me. When my dad said that to me, I go, He only said that twice. Now, here I am in the Army. Basic training. I'm the stud, I'm the man. My dad and my brother come to my graduation, I'm about done. He goes, I see him over talking to the drill sergeant. He goes, that's your son? My dad said, yeah. He said, we tried to play him in basketball, and they had a little thing. I beat the dog snaps out. He goes, you know, your son could have graduated number one. He's the best of the best of the best. My dad said, he's a Potter. Guess what happened? Well, he got it number two because of this. And the drill sergeant, I told that drill sergeant something. My dad said, the biggest fear I had, my dad. I understand what you're asking. You're asking about the military fear, but disappointment. I do not want to. So next you know, I turned around and guess who was there? Grandpa, my dad, was looking at me like, oh yeah, come see me. He had to do with something on the side. But my biggest fear was letting my family down, my town down, of course myself and my country down. Are you saying fear like go out and kill or be shot at or things like that? I didn't think about that, because you don't think about that. You just want to do your mission. You want to protect the United States. You want to protect the freedoms that we have. Does that make sense? So I really wasn't afraid to do that. My fear was a failure. That make sense? I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to end up being nobody. Did that answer your question? All right. So I'm going to give you a military thing. When I say everybody on their feet, stand up. Okay? You feel me? Now watch. On your feet.